Hello! If you're wondering, Ed, you've not made a Jolly video or a Mystery 5 video in a little while, then today is your lucky day because this video is both. If you've not seen any of my Mystery 5 videos before, basically what I do is I rate my top 5 favourite things. Well, the videos so far have been my top 5 favourite things, but I might throw a little bit of a twist on it and rate my top 5 anything. And today's top 5 will be my top 5 most let's get your words out, most painful experiences, and the phrase top 5 has now lost all meaning to me. And if you're wondering what this blue mess is behind me, this blue camouflage mess, that's a duvet that I keep on my sofa in the colder months just to wrap myself up in, just to be a little bit cozy. So let's get into rating my top 5 most painful experiences. Number 5 is when I hurt my back painting a Warhammer miniature. Sounds like you wouldn't put the two together, but this is before I had a desk in my bedroom and a chair. I was leaning forward on my sofa with my coffee table in front of me with my back hunched up, and I was painting away for about 4 hours, and I thought my back feels a little bit stiff, didn't think much of it. Went to bed, woke up the next morning, and it took me about 15 minutes to get out of bed because my back was in agony. And when I say it took me 15 minutes to get out of bed, it genuinely took me 15 minutes to get out of bed. It was that painful. I couldn't shower for 2 days because I couldn't bend over to pick my shower gel up. I had to have a shower in a can, the old deodorant. It was just a really unpleasant time. Number 4 is similar to my back, but it was my neck. I don't know what I did to my neck. It very recently happened, August sometime I think it was. I was sat on my sofa and I must have been looking at my phone for too long during the day, because down here it just felt a little bit stiff. And then in the space of about 10-15 minutes I couldn't move my head. Literally couldn't move my head, and it was absolute torture. You know, I couldn't get comfortable in bed. I couldn't do anything really without being in pain. And I walked to Tesco to get some deep heat. That did bugger all. That did literally nothing apart from make my neck smell absolutely foul. Moral of the story there is probably don't look at your phone all day. Number 3 is when I broke my wrist BMXing. I couldn't really do any tricks on my BMX. I just used to like doing jumps and getting quite high on the jumps and everything. And this one particular jump, I got quite high, and when I landed, I don't quite know what I did. I must have moved my wrist. It was my left wrist, and I landed so hard that it actually broke my wrist, like I broke a bone in my wrist. And I didn't quite know how to get home, if that makes sense. It probably doesn't make sense. Like, did I cycle home with one hand on the handlebar, or did I push my bike home with one hand on my handlebar? In the end, I decided to cycle home. Probably wasn't the best idea. And I went to hospital, had an x-ray, and instead of putting like a cast on up to the elbow, I had a full length cast, so I couldn't move my arm, my left arm, couldn't bend my left arm for about 6 weeks. And it made playing GameCube very difficult. Number 2 is when I broke my big toe twice within the space of about 7 weeks. 6 or 7 weeks, I broke my big toe twice. First time, I was around my dad's house, and I've mentioned this before in a previous video as well as the wrist. I think me and my dad and my brother were playing, we were chasing each other, I think, and I ran round a corner through a door, and as I went around the corner, or through the door, my right foot sort of kicked out a bit, and I actually kicked the door frame so hard that it broke my big toe. And that was very painful. I had lots of technicolor bruises on the top of my foot. It was fine, I could walk and everything, it was just a little bit painful. And about 6 weeks later, I was at school, don't quite know what happened, but a table flipped up, and the table flipped up and landed on the same big toe. And I don't know if I broke it twice, but I'm fairly certain I did, because the pain that went through my foot was just immeasurable. It was so painful. Like, what an idiot. Well, I don't remember it that well. I don't know how the table flipped up. Like, what causes a table to flip up apart from someone genuinely flipping a table? And in at number one, last but not least, was the time I got dry socket. Now, I don't actually know what dry socket is. All I know is that it really hurts. Backstory, I had a wisdom tooth extracted, and I hate the dentist. I make a point of trying not to go to the dentist, and I had toothache, I think, for about 2 months, and I couldn't get on a dentist waiting list. So this happened I think I started getting toothache in August, and the fastest I could get seen by a dentist, or the most, words are hard. The soonest appointment that I could get at my dentist wasn't until December. So toothache in August, couldn't get seen until December, and I was like, what do I do? I've got toothache, I've got to wait until December. And I ate is the wrong word. I took so much paracetamol and ibuprofen, it's unreal. I'm surprised I haven't done myself any damage from that. But I phoned the dentist. I was like, look, I'm in absolute agony. Is there any way you can see me before December? And they're like, no, we can't. The best thing to do is to phone the emergency dentist after 6 p.m. during the week. So my mum came down, and I made an appointment at the emergency dentist. I managed to get seen, and the dentist took x-rays, and it didn't help that tooth was already broken. But like I say, I don't go to the dentist, so didn't have it extracted then. She took an x-ray, and it turns out it was infected as well as broken. So the dentist decided just to extract it and not prescribe me antibiotics or painkillers to clear up the infection. And it didn't hurt for about 3 days. And then on the 4th day, it was the worst pain I have ever felt. And it's the only pain that's made me cry probably since I was a child. Now, my dad had a wisdom tooth extracted, and he also got dry socket, but he managed to go to work being in that much pain. This pain caused me to curl up in a ball on my bed and cry. It was that bad. And it was worse, the pain was worse than my broken wrist and my broken toe mixed together. It was so painful, so painful. And again, I phoned my dentist and said, look, I've had this wisdom tooth extracted. I'm in absolute agony. I need to be seen. And they're like, again, we can't see you. Go back to the emergency dentist. Went back to the emergency dentist. It was a different dentist. He looked at it. He said, yeah, it's infected. And I said, well, the previous dentist didn't prescribe me antibiotics. He called them a word, a name, and he prescribed me antibiotics, cocodamol, and really strong ibuprofen. And I took all three pretty much at the same time. And for the first time in 2 months, I managed to get a full night's sleep. Yeah, just toothache. I've said it to friends before that toothache is on another pain level to normal aches and pains. Just toothache seems to hurt so much worse. And the trouble is, you can't really rub it, you can't do anything apart from take painkillers and go to the dentist. Dry socket, I would not wish on anybody, no matter how much I hate them. Just absolutely awful, absolutely awful. So that wraps up my top 5 most painful experiences. there's anything to learn from this, it's adjust your posture, don't drop tables on your foot, and go to the dentist often. I've got something fun planned for December, so if you want to see what that's going to be, then stick around, maybe subscribe as well. And I hope you enjoyed that video, and I will see you in the next one. Take care.